At Three Rivers, Hines Ward took an accurate pass from Cordell Stewart, made 1, 2, 3, 4. Make that 5 tacklers miss, giving the Steelers a 7-0 lead over the Jags. But Fred Taylor made a few guys miss too. Then he positions Kyle Brady, that's where I want you to block, on his way to a 25-yard touchdown and a tie game. Mark Brunell hit Taylor on a screen pass. Again, Kyle Brady doing the blocking, and the Jags were in the lead 14-10. Taylor's third touchdown was more than the Steelers had conceded in the previous 6 games, but the Jags were up 21-10. And it was 27-10 when Taylor broke another run, 26 yards for his 4th touchdown of the game. He appears finally to be back into his pre-injury form, and funny how good he makes that O-line look. Pittsburgh get a late touchdown on Cordell Stewart's scramble, but Jacksonville win 34-24, and Taylor knew why the Jags were finally winning.
Less mistakes, less sacks, man. Early on, we had a young line. You know, guys weren't comfortable playing together yet. Now they're very comfortable. They've been playing together week in and week out. They're just, you know, they're ready to play.
Taylor wound up with a big 234 yards rushing, and it looks like Pittsburgh are starting another one of those second-half slides. In Tennessee, Percy Ellsworth took a third-quarter interception back 33 yards for a touchdown that put Cleveland up 7-0. The Browns picked up 7 turnovers, but could only get 3 points from the other 6. Meanwhile, Eddie George was grinding out yardage, and this touchdown tied the game at 7. Steve McNair's scramble on a 4th and 4 kept the Titan drive alive. McNair looking more like Eddie George than Eddie George does. But it was George who went in and put the Titans in the lead at 14-10. Then Eddie George's 3rd touchdown of the game finished the scoring to cap a 24-10 Titans win. Eddie George finished with 36 carries for 134 yards, but the Tennessee defense held the Browns to 44 yards rushing and only 103 passing. At Mile High, Gus Frerotte hit Ed McCaffrey to put the Broncos up 7-3 over the Chargers. But Ryan Leaf hit Curtis Conway, whose open field running proved a tough pill for Bill Romanowski to swallow. The play goes 68 yards. The Chargers are up 10-3, and is Conway actually in the end zone? The ref said yes. Now watch Ryan Leaf step up in the pocket before he hits Jeff Graham for a 45-yard score and a 17-7 Charger lead. Scott Turner intercepts Frerotte, who was playing in replacement of the injured Brian Greasy, and he beats Frerotte to the end zone. The winless Chargers are up 24-7, and we're still in the 2nd quarter. Down 27-10, Frerotte hits Dwayne Carswell for a score, and that cuts the Charger lead to 10. But Leaf floated one out to Jeff Graham for 83 yards and a score. Nice touch on that pass, and the lead was back to 17 going into the 4th quarter. And someone could tell Jeff Graham that this stuff comes back to haunt you. Frerotte hits Rod Smith for a 26-yard touchdown. The lead's down to 10. And then tight end Desmond Clark is the man who will not be tackled. All of a sudden, the Broncos are within a touchdown at 37-31. And Gus Ferrotte's fade to Ed McCaffrey caps an amazing comeback, 38-37. Broncos win, and Gus was ready to spread the credit.
The whole team played together offensively. You know, Rod had a couple drops, and you just keep going to those guys. Those guys are going to make you plays. Eddie, what can you say about Eddie? He's a tremendous player, and we had a great day today. You know, let's build on it. Let's go again, and hopefully we'll have a good one next week.
Despite 4 interceptions, Mile High is now the land that Gus Frerotte, Ryan, it seems, has finally turned over a new leaf. In Philadelphia, Donovan McNabb and Jeff Thomason ran the same play as last week to the same result. 1-yard touchdown. Eagles lead 10-3 over Arizona. Watch James Folston, number 58. He's going to miss McNabb and then stop to avoid Jermaine Mayberry. Well, you might avoid Jermaine Mayberry too. McNabb breaks 2 more tackles for another touchdown. Downtown Dave Brown was in for the injured Jake Plummer, and Mike Caldwell was in the end zone with a pick off a Brown bullet. 27-3, the Eagles are flying. But Brown struck back with a 44-yard touchdown to David Boston. But the Eagles came right back to get another touchdown from Darnell Autry. They wind up winners 34-9. And downtown Dave Brown actually moved the Cardinals pretty well, but the Eagles got 145 yards rushing from 5 different runners to control the game. In San Francisco, Charlie Garner made a great catch of a Jeff Garcia pass to put the Niners deep in Atlanta Falcon territory. That set up the first of 3 Wade Ritchie field goals. On 4th and 1, Jamal Anderson rumbled 29 yards to set up a Morton Anderson, he's no relation, field goal. That tied up the game at 3. Chandler was trying to hit Anderson with a screen pass, but rookie Jason Webster picked it off. He goes 71 yards for the game's only touchdown. The Niners win 16-6. Terrell Owens was out with turf toe, but Rich Brooks' defensive schemes held the Niners offense in check. It didn't take much defensive scheme to hold the Atlanta offense similarly in check.
Yeah, a bit of a hurrah there for all you Myriad San Francisco.
In the Metrodome, Vikings down 7-0. Dante Culpepper hits Randy Moss from 36 yards out to tie the Panthers at 7. On the fake end around, Robert Smith takes a swing pass 53 yards to put the Vikings on top 14-7, and no one even touches him. Talk about cruise control. Robert Smith's got it. Smith does get touched on this touchdown, but it's too late. 21-7 Vikings. And then Culpepper's 3rd touchdown pass of the day, 15 to Chris Carter, gave the Vikings a 31-14 lead. They win 31-17. Culpepper threw for 357. Smith ran for 103. Carter and Moss both over 100 yards receiving. At Hoffa's Happy Hunting Ground, Charlie Batch hit Walter Rasby for a touchdown to put Detroit up 7-0 over the Giants. And Rasby's going to be singing soprano from now on. Watch Desmond Howard literally squeeze his way past punter Brad Maynard's tackle. His 50-yard punt return had the Lions in scoring position. And it was James Stewart who went in from 1 yard out to give the Lions a 14-0 lead. No face mask? Then when Batch hit Herman Moore from 7 yards out, the Lions were up 21-0 at halftime. Batch's 3rd touchdown pass of the game went to Johnny Morton, and watch Jason Sehorn stop to check if his jock is still there. Right there. 28-0 Lions, and Morton notices how the crowd is relatively quiet in appreciation of his genius. Kerry Collins, quarterback keeper, had the Giants on the board. And then Collins hit tight end Dan Campbell to put the Giants within 2 touchdowns going into the 4th quarter. Collins hits wide receiver Joe Juravicius with a late touchdown. And Sid Juravicius makes a great catch off Terry Fair's helmet. Now, why do these guys never watch where the ball is? But the Lions hang on to win 31-21. The Giants lost Ike Hilliard, but Collins still threw for 350 yards. But again, the Giants had trouble against a team with a winning record. In Chicago, Sean King's pass was picked off by Tony Parrish, who picked up a crunching block by Brian Urlacher. Look out, Jerry Wunsch, you're down. Bears are up 10-3 at the half. King wasn't having much luck throwing the ball, but his 12-yard scramble in the 3rd quarter tied the game up at 10. And this is a nifty bit of running from Sean King. Watch the dive and watch King get up and rearrange his brain. Rookie Paul Edinger's 48-yard field goal put the Bears up 13-10, but the game wasn't sealed until rookie Urlacher intercepted King. And note the short sleeves that the Bears players are wearing. The temperature was 37 degrees at game time, and as you no doubt have heard by now, Tampa have never won a game that kicked off with the thermometer below 40 degrees. And someone must have told Sean King that. He threw for only 91 yards, Allstott and Lynch both out with injuries for the Bucks. In the Superdome, just 1 week after losing Ricky Williams to an ankle injury, the Saints lost quarterback Jeff Blake with another broken ankle. And the team that was 7-2 a week ago is suddenly reeling against the Raiders. Rich Gannon wasn't watching what happened to Jeff Blake. He was off scrambling himself, and he found Andre Badcheck-Risen, who makes a nice move to finish a 34-yard touchdown. Oakland up 10-0. Zach Crockett, replacing the injured Tyrone Wheatley, put Oakland up 17-0 with this touchdown run. But then quarterback Aaron Brooks, the former Packer reserve, got New Orleans on the scoreboard with a 68-yard pass to Willie Jackson, who couldn't have been more alone if he was Yoko Ono at a Beatles reunion. The Saints fought back to 17-13, but then Gannon hit touchdown Tim Brown from 21 yards out to increase the lead to 24-13. Then Zach Crockett got his second touchdown of the game. Oakland up 31-16 at this point. And even though Brooks and Jackson combined again, Oakland go out winners 31-22. And Saints coach Jim Haslett knew Jeff Blake's loss was going to be serious.
Playing so well, and obviously he's the leader of this team, and he was doing a lot of good things out there.
Oh man, it's bad. It's a bad thing, but it's life. You know what I'm saying? That's the NFL. It happens. Unfortunately, it's happening for the Saints.
We have confidence in Aaron Brooks and his skills. And his capability to win football games. I mean, we saw a lot of that today.
A situation like we had today when we started to go out after the 11th game of the year, and try to kind of take the win out of some of the players. It was my job, to blow everybody back up.
And Brooks blew everyone for 187 yards. The Saints got 130 yards rushing from 3 backs, but Marquez Pope had 13 tackles. In Kansas City, Rob Johnson looked a lot like Doug Flutie as he hit Eric Moulds for a 9-yard touchdown to give the Bills a 7-0 lead over the Chiefs. Elvis Gerback hit right back to Tony Gonzalez. That put the Chiefs ahead 10-7. But Johnson's pass goes right through Donnie Edwards' hands. Watch Edwards, 59, dropping back. And Jay Remersma makes the touchdown catch. Bills up 14-10. But Elvis returned to Gonzalez for his second touchdown of the game. Chiefs up 17-14. I still can't figure out why these dunks are a highlight. Johnson's 12-yard scramble for a touchdown gave the Bills a 21-17 win, and Johnson wasn't talking controversy.
Very big getting a win like that here. It hurts them in the playoff race. It helps us. And, it was a great team win, come from behind, and those are always extra special.
Johnson's TD was special. It was only ruled a touchdown after a challenge and replay. Antoine Smith and Sean Bryson combined for 33 yards rushing for the Bills. In Foxborough, Otis, my man Smith, picked up a Brandon Bennett fumble and returned it 12 yards to set up the Patriots' first score. Which Tony Carter got on a 1-yard run, and he doesn't seem to run as well as Otis Smith does. 7-0 New England. Peter Warwick's touchdown pass from Scott Mitchell tied the game at 7 for the Bengals. But Drew Bledsoe's 34-yard pass to Terry Glenn, who just signed a big new contract, had New England in scoring position. It set up the first of 3 Adam Vinatieri field goals. The third of those with 6 seconds left gave New England a 16-13 win. Terry Glenn with 11 catches and Troy Brown with 8 for 110 yards were the highlights for New England. Scott Mitchell had his best game in 3 years. At Lambeau Field, the Colts' Peyton Manning lost one in the snow, and Russell Maryland falls on Peyton for a safety, putting the Packers up 2-0 over the Colts. It doesn't matter how many injuries Brett Favre is nursing, he's going to play. And 2 touchdown passes later, someone might have told the Colts that Favre was 24-0 at Lambeau when the temperature is below 34 degrees. And that's a fact, Jack. Down 19-3, Manning hit E.G. Green with a 34-yard touchdown, which cut the Packers' lead to 9. Then he hit 1999's Mr. Irrelevant, Jim Finn, with a touchdown that brought the Colts within 2. But whenever we say ensuing, you know something good is going to happen. And on the ensuing kickoff, Allen Rossum went 92 yards for the score, and that put the Pack back on top by 9. What a great pickup he was in the offseason. They got Rossum in the trade for Aaron Brooks, and that touchdown return meant Manning's 3rd touchdown pass of the day wasn't enough. 26-24, the final. Edgerrin James held under 100 yards rushing. Amon Green had 153 yards. Bill Schrader 8 catches for 155. In Baltimore, touchdown Trent Dilfer hit Qadri Ismail with a 40-yard TD, and the Ravens led the Cowboys 7-zip. Up 10-0, Dilfer to Shannon Sharp was good for 59 yards and a 17-0 lead. How come Sean King can't do that for Tampa, they're wondering down there. Shannon Sharp is wondering why they couldn't score a touchdown for all those weeks before. Dilfer's 32-yard pass to Brandon Stukely put the Ravens in scoring position. And in position for Priest Holmes to cap the scoring. Baltimore win 27-0. That's their 4th shutout of the season. Rookie Jamal Lewis had 187 yards rushing, and that was exactly 4 yards less than Dallas's total offense for the game.
So there you go, Baltimore going very nicely indeed. I mentioned Philly earlier on there. That's
Starting off in the AFC East, which is the tightest of them all, Miami with a 1-game lead over Buffalo, Indy, and the Jets. And everyone thought New England might be better than 3-8. Good thing they're not. In the Central Tennessee, now 2 games up on Baltimore, who are on a 3-game win streak, as Mark told you. Pittsburgh just about out of it, but neither Pittsburgh nor Jacksonville are an easy win for anybody. And out west, Oakland still 2 games up on Denver, but Denver's on a 3-game win streak. Kansas City sliding right out of the picture here, although they still have a winning record in the division. NFC East, and the Eagles are now on top, ahead of the Giants by half a game. Washington is our game tomorrow. Dallas and Arizona are out of it. This is an easy division, and someone could wind up going 11-5 out of here. Minnesota 2 games up on Detroit in the Central. Detroit, the team that refuses to die. Tampa Bay at 6-5 now need to keep winning if they're going to make the playoffs. And Green Bay with only a really long shot at a wild card. And finally out west, the Rams keep rolling on. They play tomorrow in our game. New Orleans 7-4, but without Ricky Williams and Jeff Blake. Still unbeaten in the division, however. None of the other 3 should figure in the playoff picture.
Yeah, still love those East divisions. That's where the real scrap